Picture going home one day after a tough day of work to where you are hit with news that your brother or sister has been murdered for not giving up his or her wallet. You no doubt would say the murderer would need to be incarcerated, but picture a father at home doing household chores when suddenly police officers invade the house and arrest him in front of his children for illegal drug possession, which the money he obtained from selling drugs was needed to support his family. Now you could be on one side or the other whether this man should be incarcerated for his actions, but of course the first scenario is more of a reason for someone to be incarcerated. Individuals are incarcerated when they commit crimes against a person, property, or even victimless crimes such as gambling. Whenever an individual breaks the law in his or her state, they have a certain degree of punishment depending on the crime committed. About 1 to every 100 adults in the United States is either in jail or prison, with the total U.S. penal population totaling to 2.2 million adults. With the majority of those who are incarcerated are black men of ages ranging from 15 or 24 who are of lower income households. The reason for that age is evident as Edwin Sutherland differential association theory states how an individual is defiant when he is involved in a crowd that encourages such acts. The number of individuals incarcerated should reduce by there being a more suitable reason for incarceration to occur. Therefore, we will discuss how race and class are important factors to consider with the amount of individuals currently incarcerated and whether or not incarceration is effective. Out of each race of its own, African Americans are the most arrested individuals. There are multiple reasons for this. One being prejudice, white police officers being more tempted to arrest African Americans. There is certainly white privilege that factors in when looking at the statistics of which individuals are more likely to be arrested, and children whose parents are more than likely to be arrested. It is estimated that out of 100,000 black males, 4,618 of them would be incarcerated, and out of 100,000 Hispanic males, 1,747 of them would be incarcerated. This is compared to out of 100,000 white individuals, where only 773 would be incarcerated. 1 in 15 African American children and 1 in 42 Latino children have a parent in prison. And when comparing that to white individuals, there's a difference of 1 in 111 white children having a parent in prison. The class is also another important issue of the total amount of individuals incarcerated. For example, if you have committed vehicle manslaughter in the state of California, you will be sentenced either between 2 to 6 years in prison. However, what would occur if you were famous and of high class? What would happen to you if you were the Brad Pitt, the younger Brad Pitt, or so, however you want to say it? Well, in 2001, Rebecca Gayheart, an American television and film actress, was charged with vehicle manslaughter after she hit and killed a 9-year-old boy at a crosswalk with her car. She pleaded no contest, was sentenced to a 3-year probation, had her license suspended for 1 year, paid a fine of $2,800, and had to serve 750 hours of community service. This is only one case of many individuals that are of high class that have gotten away with crimes that individuals in a lower class would more than likely serve time in prison for. And other examples being such as Mark Wahlberg, Snoop Dogg, and many others. So is incarceration really the answer due to there being an inequality? Is incarceration really effective? Incarceration should occur for the instances of someone purposely causing harm, such as killing another individual. However, in instances when a minor marijuana offense occurs, individuals should not be in prison. The reason for me saying that is because of what occurs in prisons. Individuals are beaten, raped, or even killed in prisons themselves. They are places that are supposed to correct an individual, but in reality, he or she comes out a totally different person. Incarceration actually reduces the likelihood that men and women will marry and establishes an economic strain for those parents who are left at home having to take care of the child while their spouse is in prison. Also, solitary confinement is another issue because of the fact that those individuals lose their minds from being in a tiny room for a countless amount of hours out of the day with only 1 hour to be outside. Imagine looking at a blank wall all day and nothing to do besides thinking of what you want to do the minute you get out, but you won't get out for another 3 years. You will no doubt, like the rest, go insane. Incarceration is effective for the fact that those who commit horrible crimes are locked up and kept away from society. For these reasons, incarceration holds a purpose and should continue to be the basis for punishment for those crimes that hold more of a major impact. People should be incarcerated fairly as well. The punishment that is given to an individual that sexually assaults someone and is of a lower class should also be given to an individual who commits the same action and is of a higher class. Just ask yourself for a moment, how would I feel if I was in prison for gambling when my purpose for gambling was to provide for my family?